I love sport. Why not be in the home of sport?
The connection you have with your lecturers is so big here. And I feel like my other mates who go to different unis, they're in a classroom full, like a lecture hall full, and you don't have that like one-to-one really where like all our lecturers know our names. It just seemed like a really good community, and obviously like you guys said, it's like the home of sport. Like it was just amazing really.
Hello and welcome to this special episode of UCFB in the Hot Seat, all about International Women's Day. And I'm joined by
Phoebe Wilson,
Freya Wren.
and Ellie Jarvis.
So, what do you study?
So I studied football business and media. We're all in our third years.
Autumn?
I do sports journalism.
I do sports and exercise psychology.
Amazing. And what made you decide to come to UCFB?
Well, we were kind of just chatting about it then. It actually was my older brother. He came and looked at the uni because he's obviously 2 years older than me. So he came and looked at the uni and was like, this seems like something you will be interested in over him. So he was like, you need to look at the uni, you need to look at it. And that's obviously what made me think of it. I hadn't heard of it before. And so I looked at it and I was like, I instantly knew. I basically only applied for like courses on here through my UCAS because I knew this was what I wanted to do. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got here.
Amazing. And did your brother have any influence on that then? Was he like, oh, you need to do it immediately?
Yeah, no. So I've always been into football because of him pretty much. So he was like, you'd love it. And he knows how much I love sport. And if I wasn't going to be a footballer, which I wanted to when I was younger, I wanted to work in sport.
Amazing.
And he was like, this is how you do it kind of thing. Because I think at the open day, they were so clear on how the pathways get you into, like here, you can get so many different pathways into sport. So many successful people who work in sport now have come here. So he was like, if you really want to do it, you should come here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I had to obviously wait until I was old enough, finished at A-levels, and then applied. And that was it, really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Freya?
Yeah, so I was similar. I didn't
Yeah.
know anything of the uni, so I took a gap year. And on my gap year, I didn't really have a clue what I wanted to do. I was kind of just working, figuring out. I knew I wanted to go to uni, but I just didn't really know where. And then I remember I just stumbled across it once, and I was like, wow, this seems amazing. So I applied, and then I had an open day, and I came with my older sister, and the same. She was like, Frey, like, you have to go here. Like, she was like, because I've got two older sisters, and they've been to uni as well, and I was a bit like, I'm in an R-ing, and then they were like, no, you have to go, and they were like, this seems incredible. And then when they were talking about all the different opportunities, I was like, I love sport. Why not be in the home of sport? Like, I don't really think there was any other answer, to be honest.
Amazing. And do you think that obviously now that you're here and you've been here for a while, do you think that it's something that you've really found a positive experience for women in this industry?
100%. I think the opportunities I've had have been amazing, and I don't think I would have got them anywhere else. I was actually talking to my sister, the one that came to the opening day, and she was like 3 years on, and she was like, you never would have believed it would have been this good. And I was like, I know, like, it's actually just crazy.
Yeah, and you've become a bit of a TikTok star since then. Congrats, Freya.
She's blown up.
Amazing. And what about yourself?
So when I was in secondary school, the uni actually visited my school, and I just remembered it from then. And then when I was doing my A-levels, studied psychology, and I knew I loved it, but I was just unsure like which route to go down. And then I remembered this uni, and that they did sports psychology. And obviously, I visited UCFB Manchester, but they didn't do sports psychology. So then I came here, and I just thought it was amazing. And the head lecturer at the time, Andrea Firth, she just made the experience so good. It was very personal. And because it was a smaller class, like you just really got to connect with the lecturers. Whereas like compared to other unis like Loughborough, it was like you kind of just a number really.
Yeah.
I really liked that personal feeling to it.
Yeah, and do you think that made you want to go to UCFB more than those then, because you liked the interactions that you got on the open day or even in your lectures? Or
Yeah, on the open day especially, yeah. Like it just seemed like a really good community, and obviously like you guys said, it's like the home of sport. Like it was just amazing really. Yeah.
That is a big thing actually, I will say, is that how the connection you have with your lecturers is so big here. And I feel like my other mates who go to different unis, they're in a classroom full, like a lecture hall full, and you don't have that like one-to-one really where like all our lecturers know our names. We have a relationship with them, like they help you as much as they can. You have one-to-ones quite a lot, and I think that's quite unique, like and I really like that because it makes you feel that you're really sort of hands-on in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Like,
And I feel like my lecturers, like a lot of them are all still working journalists.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Which I think at a lot of other unis you wouldn't experience that.
No, definitely
Like,
not.
so I'm getting taught by people that are still working in the industry.
Mm.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like people I've spoken to, like, are surprised when like my lecturers are quite young, but it just helps a lot because they're in the industry right now and they know exactly what it's like now.
Yeah, you're getting that obviously in terms of like professional help. You know what it's going to be like when you break into it yourself, hopefully, guys. And I think that that's a really positive thing that I've learnt myself as well. Obviously, I did my undergraduate at Cardiff University. It was great, but I definitely didn't have that personal connection with my lecturers. I was treated like a number, like you said. And my cousin actually studied at UCFB, and now he works in communications at Arsenal Football Club. So it was something that really inspired me to do my master's here in football communication, digital marketing, and become a student union president, because I like talking to students. Obviously, it's really nice to have you all here today and to hear about like the experiences that you guys have obviously faced and may face in the future, and the difficulties that you've had and what you will overcome in order to break into this industry. Obviously, you know, it's very male dominated. We can't obviously escape that.
Yeah.
But the empowerment that you've got from UCFB, it shines through all of you. And I think that that's something really positive we can take on going forward in this, and obviously in your careers and wherever UCFB and the alumni takes you. So that brings me nicely into the netball team. So
Yeah.
Yes.
tell me more.
Team of three of us. So we are all part of the netball team. I'm lucky enough to be one of the co-captains.
Nice.
And yeah, it's honestly such a lovely like dynamic.
It
We're
is.
all like a group of friends, and I will always say, come into uni, especially a uni like this where it was really small, like women wise, like it was really hard. You never knew if you were really going to have that group of girl mates here. I definitely felt that when I first moved here, because I was put in a flat randomly with all third year boys pretty much, and I was the first year girl, and I was brilliant. Like this is a great start. But I was like, I never really played netball outside of like school, and I was like, I just need some girl mates. So I went to netball trials, and I made one of my best friends now, who's the co-captain, and I met these girls obviously, and it's just like it was such a perfect way to meet each other, and it's not all about like how good you have to be and all this.
It's what made
more
us so close.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now we all go together every week, and
Yeah.
it's just so nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, because so we lived together last year, and we were friends, but not like close.
Yeah,
Like,
we hadn't even met
we
when we
had-
moved in.
And then we didn't know each other, and then so her Phoebe and our other friend always went, and they were like, "Come on, girls, like come on." And we were like,
Yeah.
"No." Like, I've played football all my life, and then
Yeah.
she'll come to play netball. I was like, "No, I can't do that." And they go, "Right, flip a coin, and if it's heads, you have to come." So we were like, "Oh God."
We actually just forced you so badly. We didn't know them, and we were like, right, come on.
So it was heads, and then we went.
We went,
and
yeah.
we had so much
I'm
fun.
so
and then,
glad you guys actually
Yeah.
followed through on that. Well done.
and then every week,
Just leave it up to fate.
yeah, literally, we did we have a choice.
Oh dear.
But knowing you would be like, no, still not going.
Right, you did.
It's nice to see you've gained such a positive experience from the netball team, and obviously, as you guys know, it's not just about what you learn at university, it's the extracurriculars that you do on site and networking and stuff like that. And I was saying before we've obviously jumped on here, I've actually met all three of you in different places separately, and it's nice to have all three of you in the same room this time. So obviously we were at St George's Park. You made it very well known that you wanted to get to know everybody there when you were standing right at the front.
God, yeah.
I think that just shows the power of women in sport, to be honest. Like, you were like, I am the baddest person here, and I'm going to show you that I deserve to be in this space. So tell me about that. What did you enjoy about that experience?
So I loved that day, and obviously I was absolutely like shaking like a leaf when Mark pulled me up, but I really enjoyed it because it made me feel so like seen, and like the fact that he was like, right, come on, help me do this, and I was like sharing my story and stuff. And I didn't feel like anyone was like, oh, can she sit down? Like, can she like all this?
Yeah.
I felt really like empowered. And I think being able to network and speak to everyone was just such a good experience. And obviously we got to hear so many different good talks from Steph Alton and Tony. And I was just like, this is great. Like, and I loved the fact that there was actually quite a lot of girls there.
Yeah.
We obviously, as we always say, it's always going to be more boys. But like all of our almost all our friend group was there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, it was good to kind of get to know the industry better, I think, as well, because,
definitely.
you know, there's no place better than the place where England
know,
train.
yeah.
And I think it was interesting to get an insight into the way that players also find those, like, different circumstances when they're inside those changing rooms, when they're walking onto the pitch, and seeing how much analytics goes into it. Yeah, it was a really good day. And
did you feel like that as well? Because obviously you were like up at the front as well, and I was like, oh, go on.
Yeah, when I was up there, I was just like, I really want to sit down. I was like, I'm getting cold. But it was a really cold room as well. Like, I was absolutely freezing and took my jacket away. I was just like, thanks, like, Mark, I'm freezing now. Yeah, he took my whole coat, and like, it's like a sleeping bag as well. I wish I brought it in with me, but it's like this like sleeping bag jacket. I was like, the aircon was like so bad. Like, I mean, obviously, like working on the pitch, that's why I need something fit. Like when I'm like taking photos and stuff like that. And I was like, Mark, you've taken away my pride and joy. I was like, can I have it back? And they took it away and put it in the corner. And then I was standing there. I was just like, I just want to sit down. But I mean, you went through it like a trooper. You were up for like 30 minutes. Don't say that.
We were at the front, I was like,
guys got a good son.
Oh dear.
No,
but
it was great though.
That's the whole point though. Like you really grafted it, and you're gonna be somebody that Mark remembers. So well done. Freya, you did a lot of content on the day as well. How did you find the experience of meeting everybody?
I thought it was amazing. Like, as I said, like I grew up being like a little young footballer, and when I remember I used to go to Arsenal ladies in Bronwood, and I used to watch them, and I used to be one of 30 fans in the crowd. And to see now people like those girls, they were playing at the time, and to now be retired and have such successful careers is like crazy. It's just showing that the pathway for women in sport is growing. And like now, so that was when I was little, and I'm now 22, and I feel like the world is my oyster. Like there's no like setbacks anymore. Like I feel like we as women have so many more opportunities, and like speaking to them like really showed that.
Yeah, and it's really positive to see how many comments that you get on the content that you create as well, and UCFB sharing that. It's given you a way to kind of enter the industry with a portfolio. And everything that you did with the careers fair, for example, like a lot of women wanted to do the media. It was really hard to pick who like we wanted to use the pictures and videos and stuff like that. So thank you for everything that you've done as well. For the record. It's really nice to see like how positive those experiences have reflected in terms of learning the theory in your course, and now you're putting into practice. So well done. Slightly different experience. Student council, you were a trailblazer, I have to say that. You don't let anybody get in your way. I was like, question after question, I was just like, she is so going to like make it in the world. I was just like, make it in the world one day. Like no one gets in her way. So tell me more about like your positive women affirmations, because it's clear to see that you're very passionate about women's rights.
100%. Yeah, like obviously I was speaking on behalf of myself and all the females here, and like I'm happy to do that. Like even if I'm not going through something, like if someone else is but they don't have the confidence to come forward about it, like I'd happily do that. And my lecturers as well have really inspired me. Like I have 4 female lecturers and only 1 male lecturer, which is quite different for this year. And they're all doctors, they've all got PhDs, and they're really inspiring, and like they stand up for what they believe in. And also like my mum, she's been in the sports industry her whole life, male dominated again, and she will stand up for what she believes in. She's really inspired me to do the same, especially at this uni when it's so male dominated. Like we have to stick together, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And obviously that kind of goes on to like inspirations. Like obviously you said that your mum works with sport. Is there anyone that inspires you, whether that be football, netball, tennis?
Anything.
Like who's your biggest inspiration in sport if you had to pick one?
Well, definitely my mum, obviously, in sport, because just like the way she's handled being in a male dominated industry is amazing. And then my lecturers like Marie Winter, Andrea Firth, how they are also male dominated industries in sports psychology, and they don't let anything get in their way, like, and they'll just keep going with what they're doing. It's really inspiring as an up and coming sports psychologist as well.
Amazing. Freya, what about you? Inspiration?
I feel like I've got to say Alex Scott. So I can't remember how old I was, but I had a football training session with her, and I just remember thinking she's cool. Like she's really cool. And then so she was so successful as a footballer, and then but now to have retired and still be so successful in the media field of it, I just think like, wow, she's a powerful woman. And then like we all watched her on I'm a Celeb when she was on it, we just loved it. And I just think like
that'll be you one day.
I don't know, I think she's such a great person to look up to.
Was this when you all lived together? Were you watching?
Cup of tea, 9 p.m.
I feel like I've missed out. I've got a bit of FOMO. Like it must have been amazing.
biscuits and a cup of tea most nights.
Yeah, it's really good for us.
Inspiration?
Yeah, I think similar sort of thing, but any kind of women in sport I just really look up to. For example, Kate Scott, I should say, so Kate Abdo now. He does the CBS with Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher, and Mika Richards. And I just think like she's like obviously the main presenter on that, and like she holds herself so well. She has like the jokes of all the guys, like she's so natural in what she does, and I really look up to her, and I look at her and think that's my dream job.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she's such a powerful woman, and she knows her stuff, and she speaks all these languages, and she's just so confident in her presenting role. And I just think like she's got herself there because of her experience, because of this, because of that, and that's something I want to look up to and really want to follow.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think if you're confident, you're willing to put the work in, there's no reason why women shouldn't be so successful as a man should be in this industry. So that's something I really think about a lot when I think about experience I want to get and jobs I want to get. You've really got to channel that, because otherwise you're not gonna get anything really.
For the content that they obviously make as well with that show is really good afterwards, because it's not about watching it live. It's the things that normally go viral afterwards.
Like all the jokes and the fun.
I mean, this could be like CBS. I could be Kate Abdo. I mean, I don't know which one of you is Mika Richards and bursting on the scene, but you know, I think that's really positive to hear that obviously you've got so many massive inspirations in the industry. I mean, if I'm looking at what I am passionate about is mental health in sport, especially women's mental health, which is not spoken about a lot. A lot of the literature that you get is written by a man. Menstruation is not spoken about enough in sport. No, obviously, you study psychology, so you must know a lot more than me. Please do my dissertation for me. But like,
you probably would, wouldn't you?
I think there's like only really one person that speaks to me about mental health in sport, and that's Mary Earps. Like, she openly showed how much she was struggling. She spoke about how it's really important to put one foot in front of another and to be unapologetically yourself. And I think that in terms of the way that she comes across, sometimes controversially, of course, like people are always going to put you down in the media. We all study media, so it's interesting to look at how trolling and all of these issues come across because you're a woman, and a lot of the comments were sexist and misogynist when everything happened. So for me personally, it kind of just shows that no one really knows what's going on behind closed doors. And I think that one of the things that I've really learned at UCFB is just to put yourself out there. Like, forget about the outside noise. Just focus on yourself, and we can grow as individuals. And it's really nice to see what you guys have gained from everything that you've learned as well, especially from the netball team as well. Like, you must have learnt some core values like partnership, teamwork. I mean, did you guys do group presentations? Would you want to be in a group with each other? Or
I mean, as in us three.
Yeah, if you, I know you don't all do the same course,
but I would love to be a group of people. I just know that we care so much about like doing well. We really like put our minds to things, so we'd smash a presentation. I reckon hundreds all around. But I mean, the netball team has definitely helped with like my feeling of like not girlhood, but do you know what I mean?
Like togetherness.
Exactly. And I think that because obviously it's a very much. I mean, me and Freya both played football growing up. Never played netball really. Like I said, at intermissals, like in school. And we felt that obviously it's very football dominated, this uni. There's like the 3 men's teams, the women's teams, they get a lot of all this. Yeah. Whereas like obviously netball is very much looked after in a sense, but it was almost like, and before we had a coach as well, it was just the players.
Yeah.
So we had to really be together and really like work for each other rather than having a coach and a physio and all this. And they're only recent things we've kind of got. So that definitely helped, and it definitely made my experience a lot better here, I think.
100%.
Being involved in something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost nice as well, like, we have got so much work to do. We have, like, it's kind of nice to just switch off.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like training on a Monday. It's an hour of, we're doing it because we're dedicated, but it's also fun. Like,
something to look forward to every week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are we convincing you to join yet?
Well, I think I need to start going to the netball training rather than at Hendon. I mean, Eloise, the AU officer, she played netball as well, and she talks very highly of the netball team. So maybe I need to jump on the bandwagon. I'm clearly missing out. I mean, there's going to be a lot of FOMO after this. From like my perspective of like everything that we've spoken about so far and like representation in sport. What kind of role models would you say that you have outside of sport, like outside of UCFB? Because I think that's important as well. Like, obviously it's International Women's Day. We want to be focusing on other aspects, and like what keeps you guys going when you hear about all of this negative energy in the news? Like, who kind of springs to mind when it's outside of the sports industry?
I think personally, like my family members, so like my mum, she works so hard in what she does, and she's a midwife, so that is mainly a woman dominated area where she works. But I think just working hard has always been instilled in me since I was younger, and because I grew up with my brother who obviously plays football, I was always playing with him and his mates, and I was always just like, I want to be like them. I don't really care if I'm different, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just 'cause I'm a girl, it should literally make no difference. And my mum's obviously always instilled that in me just because of how hardworking she is, and obviously my dad as well. But yeah, I think outside of sport, like having a strong support system around you to make sure you keep striving. Like my mum was like, you can't quit. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Come on, you're going to training. Like, don't be silly. Like, it was always instilled in me that hard work is so important.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like from a woman, it means so much because she's had to work so hard in her job. And like, I mean, most women out there, I feel like women support women even if you don't know them. Do you know what I mean? If that's just an unspoken rule.
100%.
So I think that's really important to me. I think just having women around, strong women around you who want to keep pushing you and who want to see you do well. Like we all love seeing each other do well because it's like, yes, like another woman in doing something good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that's kind of what I think.
I agree. My family definitely.
Yeah.
I'm so close to my family. My dad is a massive Arsenal fan. And I remember he took me to my first game when I was 7. And I thought, what is this? I thought, why have you taken me here? And I remember I was playing on my DS and we scored and he was like, bro, you have to just stand up and cheer.
Yes, so
And I'm
real.
not cheering. I remember just sitting there thinking, oh my God. But he carried on. And then like I'd go every couple of times in a season and then I started playing. And then that's when I loved it.
Yeah.
And he used to take me to trials. He used to take me to I used to train twice a week, and then I used to play on the weekends. Like he'd be at every match. He used to miss Arsenal games just so he could come and watch me. Like he loved it, and he's definitely someone that's like kept me going because he's such a hard worker as well, and he's always so supportive. He's always there if like I need someone, and then like in sport, he's really pushed me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, like my mum's a massive influence on me. Like she owns her own off-road motorcycling company and she's the only woman in the country to own one. So
amazing.
yeah, like you
Give
can
her a
imagine
shout out there.
like you can imagine the challenges she's had to face, obviously dealing with men, and like she's always gets put down because she's a woman, like they think she can't do it as well, but that's pushed her to do even better and to do it properly. And she's like so successful, and like she'll always remind me to just keep pushing on, like no matter what challenges we face, like so just keep going. Yeah, so she's been a real big influence.
That's really good to hear. Like it seems like all of your mums are massive inspirations, which is really nice to hear. And I think that obviously kind of shows like how women have really empowered other women, whether that's obviously like you said in the workplace or whether it's at home, you know. And it's a big motivator, obviously. Like you learn a lot from your mum. You want to know like what kind of person you want to be. Like I'm from Southeast London. Like we're very like strong. I'm notorious, but like it's kind of like, you know, if you want to cry, do it. I was like, do it with passion. And I think it's important to remember that we all have bad days as well. Like I think that's something I've really learned in terms of university as a whole, is that there will be times that we're lonely and we need to talk to somebody. And normally I wouldn't talk to a man about that. I'd go to my friends, and you guys have spoken openly about how you live together. I'm sure there have been times where you've been like, I just want a hug. I was like, get over it. And like deadline season and stuff like that. I mean, I love the coffee club. I was like, I need to join this like tea party that was going on. And I think it's really nice to kind of see like how much you guys inspire each other as well. It's not just about the external influences or even your lecturers. You're looking at each other for that inspiration. And yeah, I think it's really positive to hear. So what kind of jobs and aspirations do you have post UCFB, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of obviously touched on like presenting. Like I would absolutely love to be a presenter one day. That's like the end goal, I think, because I'm so happy to just kind of work my way up, like just doing like bits and bobs, like because I've got a bit of experience working for a club and I really enjoyed that, like doing a bit of their social media and like stuff like that. So I did enjoy that. And I think just getting experience in all the different roles would be really exciting. Like being a runner, maybe one of our friends has just had an amazing experience doing that for ITV.
Yeah.
Like doing a runner and just getting to see what goes on, even that excites me. So I think that, yeah, doing social media, presenting, like being behind the scenes, like helping like in the gallery and stuff, like I think I'd really like that. but end goal is probably to be a presenter.
Were there any presenters on social media that inspire you? Obviously, you said Kate Abdo. Is there anybody else?
There's this girl who I followed on Instagram or TikTok for about 5 years. She's called Liv Bazalgo.
Yeah.
And I've followed her for years, and she is quite an inspiring person because she does all this. She works at Talk Sport. She does like freelancing, like interviews for like Chelsea, like different players. And I've always thought I'm going to be like her one day. And me and my friends from home who, when I grew up in school and stuff, would always say I'm going to be like her one day. Like, we'll watch out for you one day to be like her, kind of thing. So I've always followed her journey just to see like what kind of things she did to get to where she is, because I really like the look of what she does. So I think even someone maybe not as high profile, but someone like that who I've kind of been watching, not in a weird way, throughout the years, really, like, I've enjoyed to sort of see her journey to hopefully mirror mine one day.
Sounds really good. Freya?
I really enjoy the production side, but then I love the creating. The content creating is, I find, the most fun, and I just love it. I feel like it just comes naturally. Like, it doesn't feel like should be doing a job. Like, it doesn't feel like work, and I feel like that's the main goal at the end of the day. Like Ellie's mum, she's just employed me to start making videos for her company. She said she wanted a more personal feel, and we went up to York this weekend, and that's what I was doing.
Amazing. Power of networking, everybody. If you're listening.
Exactly. So yeah, I think the end goal is to get something like that would be amazing.
Do you find it difficult doing the behind the scenes stuff? Because obviously you don't know how much content you're going to need, and like about how do you take pictures of everything?
Yeah, I kind of piece it together when I'm doing it. So like when I'm videoing, I know what's going to go with the next one. Like, but I think it's hard. Like Ellie's mum does enduro, like with the motorbikes. I've never been in the world like that. So like that's obviously very different to when I'm filming people or football. Like, it's a completely different scene.
Yeah.
So I think this weekend was like that. I was also learning and adapting, but you just have to do that. And I feel like the more you do it, the easier it's going to come.
100%. Yeah, definitely. So watching your space as well in the future, that's good to know. What about yourself?
Yeah, obviously my aspirations would be to be a sports and exercise psychologist. You've just got to do a master's and then like a PhD, but I would love to do that. And just working with athletes, I just think is just so amazing, and like improving their performance and their well-being at the same time. Like, obviously clinical psychology and working with people's mental health is really interesting, but I think when you can apply it to sport, it just makes it so much more interesting, and like gives them a purpose to like get better and a reason to improve their performance and things like that.
Yeah, and I think that obviously that's a growing topic as well in terms of like rehabilitation, the psychology that goes behind it, and injuries. Is there anything in particular that you think that needs to be covered more in terms of that industry? Or
Well, obviously, like you mentioned earlier, the lack of female research is ridiculous, and like I would love to dedicate my career to improving the research around females, and just adding to that research. The reason why I did this course in the first place was to do with fear of re-injury. So I'd love to go into that as well, and like rehab, like you just said, like things like that.
Yeah, it's very similar to something that I'd like to do. So when I was at Cardiff University, I did a documentary called More Than Just a Game. It was about the insights into women's football injury, studying and playing. Obviously, you guys must do that for netball as well. And the challenges like athletes have, like student athletes in particular. And that actually got picked up by Cardiff City Football Club. So that's what I did alongside my degree. That was in my second year from March 2024 into the July 2025 when I graduated. And that was really special to me because it kind of showed like the power of women's football, because I was doing both men's and women's, and it kind of made me realise I don't really want to be in the men's football environment. I was in a press gantry, and they always check like obviously if you can set your laptop up properly and the Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, good morning or good afternoon. Can't remember what time kickoff was. It was a blur. And he completely ignored me. And I was just like, this is going to be the first time, but it's certainly not going to be the last time I'm going to face this. And you know what? It made me want it more. And when I was with you at student council, I was like, that is just literally me. It was just like, I'm going to fight for everybody. I'm going to make sure that everybody knows I deserve my seat at the table. So I think it kind of showed like the inspiration that I got from that negative experience, because it made me realise what I wanted, and I did more with women's football at Cardiff City. and now I'm doing more photography, but at non-league now, and that's something that I really like to do, because when I looked at championship level, where Cardiff City were, they got relegated to League One now. Sorry, Cardiff. But non-league football, especially women's football at grassroots, does not get as much media attention as what it does from the top 2 divisions in WSL 1 and WSL 2. And it was something that was really interesting for me, because I was like, if no one's covering this now, no one's going to know it exists. And I'm sure that's the same with content as well. Like, no one knows what's happened somewhere unless you're reporting on it or presenting it, or if there's research about it. So all very similar to what you guys have spoken about already. But I think it's really important as well that whatever materials we get this research from, or making the content or presenting about it, is we don't stop talking about it. And it kind of just shows, you know, that there are power in numbers. A lot of people have got together and they've spoken about it, especially as you guys have probably seen about Sky Halo and stuff like that. You know, it was a big topic. You know, people were talking about the controversy behind that, and people came together and were like, enough's enough. Like, we need to kind of come together as a group of individuals. And I think this space that we have at UCFB, I mean, even this department here, like, we've got the opportunity to kind of showcase everything that we've learned along the way. Is there anything in particular that you've enjoyed alongside your study at UCFB, as well as the lectures?
Yeah, so I think, like you touched on, like this kind of space, it does relate to my lectures, but we had one course that was called TV Studio Production with Tom Skippings and Ern Williams, and it was like the best. Obviously Lily as well was helping out with that, and it was just so good. Like, we had a really good like idea of the presenting, and it felt like a real life thing. We had to create our own TV show, our own sports show, sorry. There was all these different roles. There was about 11 people in our group, and I was one of the presenters, and I loved it. It really felt like it was preparing me from like one day what I want to be doing. And I think with UCFB, that is again a unique thing, when like our media courses are really actually catered to our life afterwards. And like, you often hear like people say, oh yeah, we did that in our lecture or whatever, and then they never do it again. Like, people have degrees and then they do a random job, and it's like, oh, you've got a degree in that, and it's just like a bit different. But all the things we do, like especially that TV production thing, was in the studio. We had auto cue, we had earpieces, we had scripts, we had everything that you would have in a proper
Directors.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the directors, like, I told him counting me down, and I was like, oh my god, this is real life. Like, I'm going on air. But it was just obviously for my assignment, but it was great. And that experience, be able to have that in my lecture was amazing, because you wouldn't really think that, I don't think.
That's just reminded me of when I was on that stage at St George's Park, and Simon was just like, oh, Grace, you're going to be speaking. I was like, I have nothing prepared. I'm just going to go with my inspirations. I mean, I hope I did a good job. Like, when I was there, thank God for that. And I think that's the thing as well. Like, when you're chucked in and somebody's in your ear, it must be really hard, like, not to repeat what's going in your ear and stuff like that as well.
I've never had that before. And it was like, oh wow, this is like the real deal, like whatever. But no, you were great the other day.
Thank you. Stop. Freya, what about you?
I think I have to say the UCFB ECP team.
Yeah.
They've really got me involved.
Yeah, big shout out to them, actually.
Huge shout. Shout out to Ash.
Yeah.
I think I started content creating. Obviously I did it in my classes. Like, I've learned about it in journalism, but I'd never really done it in like the actual real world, I guess, outside of assignments. And every time there was an event on a Wednesday, like, she pushed me to come along and create content, and then she would post it on her Instagram. I've made a FreyaN.media.
Everybody follow if you're not already.
So she like pushed me to make that account, and then I made that, and then I now like push my content on there and link it to UCFB or link it to Sonia at Edge, like. Yeah, but without
those plugs.
But without the ECP team, I don't think I would have known where to restart or have even started at all.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's one of the things that I really like. Obviously, I run the UCFB Wembley SU page, please follow. And I really like to see your content as well, and I like to reshare those as well, because it's really nice to see that behind the scenes aspect from the students. And obviously, being a student union president as well, like, it can be difficult when we don't get that feedback from students. And I think you guys probably know yourselves, radio silence is the worst thing. You can send an email out to somebody and they don't reply. And that's the kind of feedback that, nobody wants. We'd rather get it and then we can improve as individuals. So it's really nice to see how much you really enjoy those ECP events. And I agree wholeheartedly. Ash, Mo, Simon, they've done an amazing job to make sure that students are getting that experience alongside their studies at UCFB.
Definitely.
So that's great to hear. Lee?
I think the opportunities are great. In September, I got the chance to go to Miami, which was just amazing, and like everyone who was involved in making that happen was so good. And like the people we met there, the places we got to see, it was so good. And you just wouldn't get that at any other uni. Like everyone,
Never heard of that.
no, everyone that I told, they just couldn't believe it, and it was free as well. Like it's even better.
Yeah. I think that's really positive as well to see how obviously you've taken those things that you've learnt from your degree and then you've put those into practice abroad. I mean, it must have been an incredible experience. What was the highlight, would you say, if you had to pick one thing?
With my lecturer, I organised a chance to go to the University of Miami. So I went and sat in a psychology lecture there, and that was just amazing. And like seeing how they teach psychology over there and meeting a doctor of psychology there was just so good. Like
That's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Even though you did that.
Yeah, the university was amazing.
That wasn't mentioned at the tea time, no.
No, it's almost whenever it was on. We had to start then. But yeah, it was so good. Like they have an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Wow.
At uni, it was so good.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I think when we go into the industry one day, we're going to look back on these experiences and think, wow, what a great opportunity it was to study at UCFB. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I decided I actually didn't have another option. I knew that I wanted to do postgrad, and I wanted to come back to London. I mean, nothing better than the best city in the world personally, but I think that for my experience it was slightly different because obviously I'd gone through 3 years of undergraduate, and then to go and do postgrad, obviously you're going through studying again, and I didn't really know how I was going to cope given the fact that 3 years is a long time at university, and you guys have probably done a handful of assignments yourself. It's a lot more to do at postgrad because it's a level up, and it was something that worried me. But on the open day, I was assured that these networking opportunities were going to be the thing that gets you in the door, and it kind of just shows the power of it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And I think we've met some incredible people along the way. I mean, Mark being one of them. I couldn't believe it. It was so surreal. I've listened to you report Man United losing so many times, and now you're in front of me, and it was an incredible experience, and it's one of the things that I really liked, and I think that you're never going to get that anywhere else. I mean, we have our events for ECP at the home of football. I mean, I was going to say, I mean, the security is something else, but it's the home of football, and I think that it kind of shows like the guests that we get in as well, and it's a university that I can wholeheartedly say I've enjoyed attending, and obviously I've only been here for the year, so it's going to be great for you.
Between postgrad or did you go straight in?
Yeah, I went straight in, yes. But before I started my undergraduate, I took a gap year, very similar to you. And I think that it kind of really showed me that, work is for life. Student life is just like lit. And I think, so I was in halls in my first year at Cardiff, and I think that it's an incredible experience, and I'm sure that you guys have probably experienced what life in halls is like, good, bad, and the ugly. And I think that it kind of it's character building.
It is. It really is.
And I think finding that compassionate entities with the females in my flat was I was like, right, we need to team up together because this mess is not gonna do. I'm no one's mother here. No one's running the flat, so you kind of just have to kind of bring that camaraderie together and just focus on what was important. And I think that it's another thing that I was touching on as well at my time in Cardiff too, is that you learn so much in terms of yourself when you go to university and that experience. And I think that is something that UCFB has kind of made me realise, I don't doubt my worth anymore because I'm with other individuals who want to be going into the same industry as me, and they're not my competition. They're going to be helping me along the way. And I think that was really hard given when I was at Cardiff University, there was a lot more students there that probably didn't want to work in sport compared to where I am here. So it's a specialised environment, and postgraduate study is specialised obviously anyway. So it was really interesting to see how the lecturers, as you were saying, have been in the industry and still are in the industry. So Jane Abbey is my course leader, and she's been great. She does a lot with netball. If you have the chance to meet her, she would love to talk to you about netball. And I think that was one of the things that I really liked, was it's kind of like lived experience and like that leadership that you need in the industry. And I'm sure you guys have met people who you've thought, wow, like she's an amazing leader, like, and I hope to be something like her one day. And that's the kind of traits that you want to have in yourself. And I think when I look at all three of you sitting here, it's really clear to me that you guys have really enjoyed your experience at UCFB, and you've really thrown yourself into the deep end outside of your studies. And that can be hard as well. I'm sure all of you guys have had to juggle things. Like, how do you keep a work-life balance then in terms of that?
I have 2 other jobs as well, just to afford to obviously live in London. It's so expensive. I'm from Dorset, so it's a long way. You know, I can't really go home and whatever. So I have to obviously make a lot of money to be able to live here and afford food shops and all this. And also, I wanted to get some experience. So in my second year and part of my third year, I was with Leighton Orient, getting experience there, part of their media team. And I really enjoyed that. That was obviously like a intern kind of voluntary role. So I had to balance having that with my 2 other jobs, with uni and with the netball team, of being co-captain. There's a lot more responsibilities. I had a lot to juggle, and it was hard. And I just think that being busy is better than not being busy, I guess. But you kind of just have to think, this time is, you need to use this time you've got when you're in your, especially in your third year, we were nearly done. You need to use it, and it's like, if you can sacrifice a few things, maybe like a bit of like going to the pub just to do something else,
It's
it might help
expensive
you.
as well.
Let's serve on a pint. Anyway, I think you just need to think like it will pay off in the end, and you will have time to do this. But then again, you have to have things to look forward to. Like this weekend, I'm going down back home for one of my friends' 21st, because I've been working so hard and doing my assignments and stuff. You need to obviously have that balance, but I think you need to at the same time maybe think like, look, like these are my prime years to network, to get good experience, use it while you can. That's probably like what I think and what my advice would be as well to someone else in maybe younger years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you
I'd
agree.
say it is hard. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
And there's so many days where I crash out. And I'm like, what have I done? Like Phoebe, at the minute, I think I've got 4 jobs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I've just started a new job for the FA, and then
Congratulations.
thank you. And then this weekend started working for Sonia and things. So like it is all about balance. But then it's just things like, so on the train up, we was doing work on the train, like, and then when you're there, you focus on the job you have to do, the same like as any other job. And then you come home, I was doing work again. Then I go to my lectures. But I could say, like, I would not be able to have done it without these girls. Like, without the girls at uni. Like, my friends have pulled me through everything.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I think when you are struggling, like, you're all in the same boat. So it's very easy to think you're alone, but you're not, because I can guarantee every single person is feeling the exact same. It's just sometimes not everyone speaks about it. But, like, we have a cup of tea and biscuit every night, and, like, we will speak about it, and, like, we know if someone's upset, we know if someone's like struggling, and we're all here for each other. And I think that's what definitely like has got me through my uni experience.
I think that kind of just shows the compassion that you guys have for each other as well. Like, as you said, you're in the same boat and you understand what people are going through. Obviously, you might not necessarily have the same deadlines as each other because you're on different courses, but you've probably been in that boat, whether it will be the week earlier or the week before or at the same time. So you understand like how much, you know, effort goes into putting those assignments together, especially when you have 2 at the same time or something like that. And like work-life balance is really important. I mean, 4 jobs for it, that's a lot. Like that's adventurous. But it just kind of shows the experience that you want to build. And in the real world, you know, when we leave it, you're probably going to be doing lots at once, and hopefully one day start a family and have to deal with like having a burden. Like, I don't want to say burden, but you know, having to look after a little Freya. But like it's true though, like women are powerful, like and it kind of goes back to what you were saying at student council as well. You know, like we're all stronger together, and like it's so important to speak up for the people that don't get heard. And like, what about you? What about work-life balance? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I've only got 2 jobs, not quite as much as Freya.
There's a competition going on now.
But it is, you just trying to earn the money to like and still enjoy life, but still like doing your best, because we're all very conscientious. Like we do want to do well, like, and we want to put the work in. But we also do have that balance of having fun at the same time. But like Freya said, like I would not have been able to do this without the girls. Like it's like a sisterhood. Like
and we can all lean on each other when we're struggling, and we know exactly how each other's feeling. And I'd say, like, because like I said earlier, the community and the support you get from your lecturers, because you're so close to them, like I know I could go to my lecturers as well. Like they're always there to help. They always want to support me, advise me, even like life after UCFB. And also here now, like they're so supportive, and I feel like you just wouldn't really get that any other uni.
No.
So yeah, it's just so good. Yeah.
And like in terms of your lecturers, I know that we've touched on it already, but is there a female lecturer that you have or you want to have at UCFB that has really inspired your path so far, Phoebe?
I think I've only had like a handful of female lecturers on my course. I had Jo Johnson, isn't it? She taught me maybe first or second year, but I haven't had someone that's like I've had multiple times, and I had Kelly and Ella, I think I had in first year. But yeah, my course hasn't really got that many female lecturers, but I think I've had like experience speaking with Marie, one of Ellie's lecturers, and she is really inspiring. She's obviously like a younger woman doing psychology. She's like highly successful. She's a doctor, isn't she? Like she's got all this crazy experience. And I mean, we were speaking to her about a different situation, but even her listening to us and wanting to help us, because me and Freya might not have access to maybe a female lecturer like that, I think that's really beneficial for us, just to know there is someone on the girls' side, like rooting for the girls.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
definitely.
Because as much as I really get on with all my male lecturers that I have, they're all great. But there is something different in having a female lecturer to look up to and really like have that bond with, I think.
Yeah, I bet. And obviously presenting as well, like a lot of them are male presenters, so it would be nice to kind of get an insight into what female presenting is like from a lecturer too.
Yeah.
It's really good to hear. Freya?
Well, I don't actually have any female lecturers.
Okay.
Um,
Did you have any?
I've had Jo before in first year, but apart from that, no. But like, I haven't spoke to Marie like myself, but I know that the advice that she's given to Ellie and to the other girls has been amazing, and it's nice to know. And I know that she's said to me that if I ever need any help with my dissertation, that she'd be more than happy to like advise me and things. And it's so nice to know that you do have that support.
Yeah.
That even though she might not even have a clue what I'm talking about. Like she is willing to be there,
Still
which is
help,
nice.
That's really good.
Yeah, Maria's really great. Like, obviously, I'm the one on the course, but she's happy to help all the other girls because she understands that they won't have that support from female lecturers. So she made that clear to me to like let them all know that she'd be there too. And she's been a massive help. And like I said, like because she's a bit younger, it's easier to talk to her, and she gets us more. She gets what we're going through. And then I've also got Sharon Salem. She's really good. She's also a doctor, got a PhD. She's very inspiring what she's done, and like just knows everything ever. Yeah, it's just really inspiring seeing females in the industry doing so well.
Yeah.
Especially in such a male-dominated uni. They're the ones with PhDs, so that's quite good.
Yeah, I think that's really important as well. Like, I think that a lot of my inspiration to come to UCFB was down to Minnie Rowe, and she's been in the hot seat. So I think it's really important that obviously going into her masters as well, she's done so much for herself in her career too, and that really inspired me to come to UCFB. But being in the lectures now, I can see how Jane Abbey, the head lecturer for football communications digital marketing, has really inspired me, and like the leadership module that I did was basically one of the things that I can kind of reflect back on now when I leave. A bit like, when you do your UCAS application and you read back through it to see how far you come. I hope that when I graduate, I'll read back through that again and see how much I've changed from the beginning of my master's program to now. And Marie as well. I actually really wanted Marie for my dissertation, but she only does undergraduate. So because my dissertation's on how the media portrayal of women's football affects the public understanding of mental health, something that's spoken about a little bit in the media, but not as much as what it should be. And the main reason why it did go out in the media was because half of Arsenal's women's football team was full of ACL injuries, and that's the only reason why the documentary was made. So it kind of just shows, like, when it comes to a global level where people are reacting to it, that's how the media stuff gets made, and it shouldn't have to get to that level in order for people to talk about it more. And obviously you have Maria as your lecturer as well. Like, do you touch on those issues in terms of sports psychology? Like, what have you learned the most about sports psychology since studying?
Everything, to be fair. Like, It's really good because obviously they have the syllabus of what they need to teach us, but because they're in the industry themselves, they bring a lot of what they know from their jobs into it as well, which is really good. Yeah, Marie's very big on like females in sport and supporting them. Like she really inspired me for my dissertation, which was really good. But yeah, the biggest thing I've learned really, I suppose, like. I'd say like how to support athletes, their mental well-being and their performance, and realizing like sports psychology is not just about their well-being and it's not just about their performance. Like it's the interlink of them both, and like your performance will only get better if your well-being's getting better, and your well-being could only get better if your performance is, like, they influence each other. Like it's not just two single things, which is quite interesting to know.
Yeah, definitely. Freya, what about you? What do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned at your time at UCFB so far?
Oh, that's something about mine.
For anyone that didn't hear that, Phoebe just said that she needs to think about hers.
Just while you're talking, I'm thinking.
I think the biggest thing overall is how confident it's made me. Like, I think starting from little first year Freya to now, like, I do feel like a different person. I feel like I can go out into the big, scary, wide world. And, like, I do, like, I feel confident with that. Like, I think even, like, to a year ago, I was panicking about what I want to do after and thinking, oh, my God, what if it doesn't go my way? But then I think because I have put the effort in and I have been making content, like, if all else fails, at least I've tried. Like, there's something to fall back on because I've got all my learning now. Like, I know what to do. Like, and I just feel a lot more confident within myself.
Do you think that's because of the lecture content that you've been given as
100%.
well? Like, do you think that, did you have guest speakers, for example?
Yeah,
So is there anyone that really stood out to you in terms of your guest speakers? That's a big question.
So there definitely is some. I remember there was someone once called Rob Adcock, I think that was his name, and he ended up. I asked him he was like on TikTok and stuff, and I asked him just for some tips, and he actually ended up like following me back and
amazing.
Yeah, and gave me some like tips into the industry and stuff, which was really cool because if I didn't attend that lecture, I would never have known him or what it'd been about. But yeah, definitely the content has really helped me to be assured that this is what I want to do, and then to take those steps forward.
Yeah, definitely. Phoebe, you thought enough about your answer?
No, it's going to sound like I'm copying Freya, but I actually think yes.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've definitely learnt is kind of similar. Don't get annoyed. I'm not
something you said.
No, it's putting yourself out there. Another word for confidence. No, but it is like, get yourself on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, like connect with people, like really just, it doesn't matter how it looks to anyone else.
No.
If you want to do something, go and do it. Like Freya, like go and speak to Ash, and now we were with the FA, like because you've done all this stuff. Like I went and spoke to, in second year was when the Leighton Orient opportunity came on the screen, and loads of people went and spoke to my lecturer Tom Skipping, who actually helped me get that role. Went and spoke to him and had an interview with him. Like if I didn't go up to him and be confident and say I want that role, like he interviewed loads of people and then he put me through to Leighton Orient, and then they interviewed me and then I got the role. So it is just, you need to just be confident. It really doesn't matter if you think, oh no one's gonna think I can do it.
You can't
and then do it. And then I was one of the only, I was the only woman in the media team then. Like, but I was like, I belong here because I've done the interview and I've got the role. So it's just, you just need to be confident. And put yourself out there. That's the biggest thing I've learned. And obviously, like, attend your lectures, all that stuff. But like, even going to lectures, like you have got guest speakers that you might not have known about.
No.
Like we had Mick Kelly had Sean Barry in the other day from Sky, and he was talking to us, and then we had a chance to go and speak to him, and I spoke to him at a few different networking events, and now like, I can contact him. I've got his contact like details. That if I was to say, oh, I'm going to email him and just so he remembers me kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I spoke to him before, like, I wouldn't have known unless I went to my lecture about speaking to someone.
Yeah.
So it is also like, people think, oh, I can't be able to go to my lecture, I'll do it online. But go. You're going to have guest speakers that you won't get an access to if you didn't go. And then you're going to look like you didn't care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's a mixture of obviously the cliche go to lectures, but actually do, because you get way more out of it than you would think.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things that I really like is like it's not separate like in terms of lecture and seminar at this university. Like it's very integrated all in one. So it doesn't ever feel like that, okay, lecture's over, let's go and get a coffee and then now we have to yap for 30 minutes. Like, you know, it doesn't feel like that at all. And I think that obviously listening to your story at St George's Park as well, when you were talking to Mark about your time at Leyton Orient, it seems like it's really helped you settle into what your life could be like after UCFB too, which is really nice to hear. And going back to that, your time at Leyton Orient, what do you think that you've learnt the most about yourself after doing that then?
I think that, like, just again, confidence, like, you do belong there. I used to suffer a lot with imposter syndrome and thinking that I was somewhere where I shouldn't have been, and I don't know if I'm good enough to do this. But the media team I had around me as well were amazing. Like, they were so great. They really were welcoming me in and really teaching me the ways, and like they were always just really supportive. And I got to write like match reports, do the tweets and everything. I travelled home and away with them, and I did quite a lot with them. And then, like, what I got from that was my interviews were published in the programmes online, like match reports were posted, so I was getting like things posted of me. My name was in the programme. I remember when we hosted had Man City at home against Leyton Orient in the FA Cup, and the media guy was like, "Oh, your name's going to be in it because you did an interview," and I was like, "Oh my god, that's so." Do you know what I mean? So it's like you have just got to ignore the outside noise, like you said before. That's such a big thing. Like, you do belong there. And just because you're a woman, again, that doesn't come into it. Like, you got that role because you're good enough.
Yeah, and I think algorithms and like likes, shares, comments, it's really hard to kind of take yourself away from like the numbers that you get, the reshares, and unfortunately that is the reality that we live in. You know, we've all been born into a social media generation, and I actually had a lecture today about customer relationship management and how like data and analytics is used to track media. I mean, all this boring stuff, but you know, it's important to look at that data. As boring as it is to look at data, it's important to look at that and think, you know, we're having a bigger female audience now going to these matches. What can we do to help support that? And Leyton Orient is one of those clubs as well that does a lot for their female environment. Obviously, with Tottenham women playing at Leyton Orient Stadium, that's a massive step for men's clubs using, like, giving women their grounds to play as well. And I think that that's the main thing too. You know, you've clearly learned a lot from that environment, and congratulations on all of those bylines. I look forward to reading more. Please send me links. And I think it's really important to see like how different environments have given more women opportunities to grow. And sometimes that can be hard, like to look for opportunities where you feel like, I mean, you spoke briefly there about imposter syndrome. And I'm sure that there are plenty of job interviews and you look at them and you think, well, I'm never going to meet that criteria, so I'm not even going to bother applying. Or 500 people have already liked that on LinkedIn, so what's the point, because I'm going to be 501 and there's already people ahead of me. And it's hard to distinguish, you know, whether to do things when you don't feel confident in yourself. So it's really nice to hear how much confidence you've got from each other. And the tea time chats have clearly worked. It's like, you know, you're motivating each other. And I hope this makes like some sort of clip at the beginning, like, you know, tea time chats.
We ought to make a podcast out of it.
And I think like that kind of shows the importance as well with like talking to one another. So obviously with it being International Women's Day as well, a lot of people are probably going to have similar experiences in the industry, and I'm sure that you guys have probably faced similar experiences too. And it's all about looking at what we can do to kind of break that glass ceiling, albeit it's moving. I wouldn't say it's broken. But what do you guys think, like in general, would you like to see in the football industry, whether that's men's or women's, what you would like to see in the future that you haven't seen already, or something that you'd like to see develop further?
Let's take that one first.
Well, I'd say like the women's game has grown massively. Like, I started playing football when I was 10, and then when I was 16, I played for my local women's team, and I was training and playing on the same pitch that I was playing subs for. I was paying to play, and then the men were also playing on the same pitch but getting paid. And it's stuff like that, and I've grown, and then I carried on playing, and then in second year I actually did the match reports and I did like the Twitter for the women's game. And it's just like, well, I was a player. I was not an underdog because I've never felt like an underdog, but we essentially are in football. Like, we're not, I feel like you already have to be 10 steps ahead sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
But I feel like the more we as women all push it, that I don't think that stereotype will be in time to come.
Definitely.
So I was then doing the media for it, and then I've now coming out into third year with my own media page, knowing that I want what I want to do, going into the industry, and I don't feel like that, like I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was younger and I was seeing all these men and all these, I had to travel so far because there was not as many teams in my league.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm traveling over an hour just to get a game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that has already changed. Like it's more like, I'd say, like fashionable for women and like young children to want to play.
Yeah.
And I think that's already a great stepping stone, and I just feel like that needs to carry on. I feel like people can't think like, oh, that they've got enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. I think we need to carry on getting the support to make it grow, like, even more.
Definitely.
This is only the beginning, I think.
Yeah. Do you think that's a bit of lived experience that you've had as well? Obviously, being the other side of the camera playing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you didn't get a lot of coverage when you were younger and you want to make a change based on that now?
100%. Like, I didn't even really know about like this being even a job.
Yeah.
Until I was in my gap year, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I love writing and I love sport.
Mm-hmm.
Put them together, sports journalism.
Yeah.
And like, I think if I hadn't have lived those experiences, then I wouldn't have wanted to like fight for it in a way.
Yeah.
Like, it's made me think, no, I do want to do this and I do want to be successful.
Yeah. And I think that's really interesting to see like how UCFB's obviously matched all of those emotions that you've been
100%.
through and inspired you to go further.
Mm-hmm.
Any more thoughts on changing the world of women's football?
I think from like a psychology perspective, obviously, like with women's football, obviously, it would be great to see like the psychological help being so much more, and them getting the same opportunities as the men. And then with men's football, obviously, like it'd be good to see a shift in like their perception on like getting mental help and like psychological support, because obviously like they see it as like being weak, like to speak about their emotions, like don't feel like they need it, but like it's actually harder to speak about your emotions and to actually think about how you're feeling and how that could be affecting their performance. So I feel like if like that could become a bigger thing and like it's more accepted to speak about how they're feeling, and it be seen as a positive thing rather than a negative thing, like I think that would be good to see.
Definitely, especially with like social media, as we've spoken about the trajectory that one bad comment about women's football can get.
Yeah.
The likes of Joe Barton, for example, expressing negative views and the misogyny and sexism that comes with it. Obviously, we're trying to make a space for women's football. However, there is still criticism till today. So I completely and firmly agree that there is so much that we can do, but there's always going to be one hater, and you can't let that one bad experience affect the 99 positive things that are going on. And I think that that's another thing, like in terms of fan engagement in general. So I was doing football fan engagement as a module with Andrew Patterson last semester, and we were learning about like how different fans have like, you can have like the diehard fans, and then you can have like the people who only go to like FA Cup matches and stuff like that. And no matter how many matches you go to, everyone is passionate. You know, you're in that environment together, a bit similar to how you talk about Leighton. You know, when they got to the playoffs, for example, everybody was a Leighton fan.
Yeah,
You could go to one match, you were a Leighton fan. Like, you know, it just kind of shows the trajectory that football has and the passion it has, whether you go to one match or whether you go to loads. And I'm sure that's the same with you, Freya. When you were young, you probably didn't realise, obviously, the power that football had. And then now you're like, oh, you know, you weren't enjoying it when you were on your DS, and now you really want to get on the pitch. So, and that's amazing to see. What about you, Phoebe? Do you think there's anything in particular women's football could improve?
I mean, you guys kind of said.
Do you know one thing I could say?
Go on.
I'd love to see a woman coach in the men's game.
Yeah.
Like Serena, like the England, they've won the Euros. Yeah, I know there was talks about her maybe coming like, I think it was the Norwegian men's team and back in like 2024 or something, but she's still not.
No.
Like there's never really actual talks of a women leader.
No.
Like, but I think like in time, I think that should happen.
Yeah.
I don't see why. Like, there's men coach women.
Yeah, exactly.
So why can't women coach men?
Yeah.
Especially with the trajectory of obviously her winning back-to-back European championships.
Exactly.
Getting to a World Cup final is not easy.
No.
And I think that in terms of her managerial techniques, it's clear to see that she's doing something right if they're winning so much or even getting to finals. I think that that's definitely something that could be touched on in the future, given, as you said, like men being in that industry, and then obviously coaching women's teams. And I hope that one day there wouldn't be like a segregation between women's football and men's football. It should just be called football.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that that's hard as well, like as you've entered the industry, and a lot of the jobs, and you've probably experienced it yourself, you're applying against men, and it's hard to kind of make sure that you guys understand, like, you know, I deserve to be at this table as much as any other man.
Yeah.
But it's hard to separate those things. And I'm sure when Serena was going into like these finals and things like that, she's like, you know, if I don't win back to back, she might have had those thoughts in her head, you know, I'm gonna be a laughing stock on social media.
Yeah.
And it's bad that, you know, that's what we see, but it's all about like empowering the future lionesses as well. And I'm sure you guys have probably seen they've released a squad for
Yeah.
the next competitions. It's nice to see like the younger generation coming through too. And obviously I'm slightly older than you guys, just slightly, and it's interesting to see like what inspired you guys to get into the sports industry, and like what made you guys kind of tick when you were younger. And I think that it's a lot like what you learn from other people too. And it's hard to be in a situation where you kind of think one solution will fix everything, which is why I asked that question, because obviously you're all going to have different opinions about women's football because you've all lived it differently, and there's not going to be one thing that is going to change the world. And I hope there isn't one thing that changes the world, because we're all different, you know, we all have different personalities. Like, I can sit here and say Man United's the best club in the world. Somebody's going to disagree with me. But I think that's the thing though, like, you know, that's the importance of football, is that it brings people together, lots of different communities, those forums, pre-match stuff, during the match, post-match, you know, we speak a lot about like the ways that fan engagement has really grown in women's football. And I'm sure that vendors down Wembley Way or Olympic Way would agree, like there are ways that people have gone into the fan zones prior to matches that have brought fans together. And I've met a lot of people in the industry, and obviously your time at Leighton, you're probably still connected with those people, and you want to see their success. Throw out of your 4 jobs,
Pick one.
I'd say Sonia at Edge is definitely an inspiration. She's a woman in a male-dominated field. Like, it's amazing to see how far Edge has come and how successful it is. But then I'd also say, like, to get me to the industry is Ash. Like, Ash and the ECP team has really pushed me to be confident. Like, she'll be like, sit the front.
Yeah.
Or like, take the photos. Like, I want you to shoot some interviews. Like, how do you feel like this should be in a reel? Like, she gives me ideas and lets me take full reign, and that has really made me confident to then be able to go work at Edge, to be able to make content on like the Wednesdays and the ECP events. Like, so I think she's definitely an inspiration.
Amazing.
Yeah, I would agree with Ash as well. Like, she just make, like, you see her networking and you're like, oh, it's just that easy. Like, you've just got a conversation and like, and she can just do it so effortlessly. Like, it just gives us the confidence to also do the same. And then obviously, like, my mum, like, at Edge, she's just always inspired me. Like, I've worked for her since I was like 12. So, but yeah, so like, she's just, her like dedication is just really inspiring, and that's what's like kept me going as well.
Amazing. Freya, you spoke about how your dad took you to watch the football. Would you say that he has a big impact on like how men can change the women's game too?
Yeah, 100%. Like, ever since I was little, he's always been supportive. Like, he would always take me to my trainings, take me to my games. Like, he's definitely kept me wanting to play as well. Like,
yeah, no, my dad's the same. Like, I think having a supportive like male ally, as we were kind of touching on a minute ago, is really big. Like, my dad, took me to all my trainings. Would literally stand there in the rain, freezing cold, watching my games when I was younger.
Yeah.
And especially like now, when I am making content, like, I'll post it on my LinkedIn and he forwards it to my family group chat. And like, so I've got 3 sisters and obviously my mum and dad, like, we're all so close, and he will be like, look what Freya's done, or like, this is so good, or he was always reposting my stuff and sharing it, like, and he's always giving me ideas, like, say if I've got an assignment coming up, I'm like, oh Dad, I'm going to interview this person. He's the first one to tell me like some like positives or like give me advice on what I should say and like how to like better myself.
Definitely. And I guess that in terms of that, with your dad being the only male and obviously having 3 daughters and obviously your mum, it must be interesting to see how all of you have your different journeys as women, whether that be in the sports industry or not. So do you think it's important that he understands what women go through in terms of the sports industry as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's not straightforward. It's not an easy. I feel like we haven't chosen an easy job. Like, we haven't chosen an easy route, and it is different. Like, when I said, like, I'm going to do sports journalism at UCFB, like, it was so nice that he was supportive.
Yeah.
Like, he's never once said. He's never once told me different. He's always made me feel good enough. Like, I know I am, and he backs that up. Like,
my dad's the same. Like, he would, before I would actually send my match reports to Orient. When I first joined, I was also like a bit nervous about doing well. I would always send them to him for him to read first, because my granddad's a sport journalist as well, so my dad knew a lot from my granddad and everything. So I would send my dad the match reports. He would reply back anything he thinks I need to change, anything like that. And yeah, it was always, and he's always been so strong on how women should have the same opportunities as men, and how I should never let anyone tell me otherwise. It's just really nice to have like men,
like someone in your corner.
In your life that you know also fighting for the same thing you are. And that's really important to have that. And obviously friends as well can be the same, but my dad definitely is similar to big Tony Wren.
And does your dad like send things into the family group chat like Freya as well? Like, does he give you advice on assignments too?
Yeah, he does. And they all, like, my mum and dad are always asking, oh, can we please read your assignments? And the TV production I did, my parents were, oh, please can we send it into the big group chat? And I was a bit daunting, like every family member ever. But they all love it, and they just think what I do is so amazing, because they wouldn't have had that. My dad, probably, he's a musician, so maybe he would have gone down this route, but he would have loved to have an opportunity like I did now back in the day. And like the fact that we have all this stuff available to us, like meeting Martin Tyler, having a Q&A with Martin Tyler, my dad's thinking, you lucky thing. Like, I would have loved that when I was younger. So I think that they often, because of it's something that they would have loved when they were younger, and people around them when they were younger would have loved, they want to push me to think, don't forget how like lucky you are to have these opportunities. And as a woman, keep taking them up and show them that you belong there.
Definitely. And it's obviously not just about football either, it's about sport in general, and changing that landscape. And I think, like, in terms of presenting too, there's not a lot of female presenters out there, so it's very limited representation for you, and I think that's very important, representation in sport. And hopefully one day, Phoebe, you'll be an inspiration for somebody else, and that'll be really positive too.
Watch your space.
Hello, what about you?
Yeah, I'd say my brother's been like very supportive. Like, when we were kids, he'd always get me involved in like him and his mates playing football. Like, he got me to join his football team. Like, I was the only girl on it, but like, and like, he just made sure all of his mates are also supportive of me. And like, even now, like, he'll always wish us luck in our netball games, like, want us to do really well. And like, just like, I think him knowing like the experiences we've been through will like change his views, and like how he'll deal with situations like with other males, and like sticking up for the women and wanting us to do well. And then like at UCFB, like, I've got one male lecturer, and he's very much like wants to also support the females, and he's not like other males where they're like misogynistic or sexist. Like, he wants to support us as well, which is really good.
Do you know what I love as well? Sorry. Like, I think what is good so I've got some nephews. My oldest nephew is 10, and he sees the game as as football. He doesn't think that there is men and women. Like, he has come to England ladies games. He has also been to England men, and he doesn't see it as, obviously they're different, men and women, but he sees it as the same game, which I think is great. And that's, he's 10 years old, and they're already recognising that there shouldn't be this massive difference, which I think is so positive moving forward, is that if we can recognise it, if they can recognise it at such a young age. Like, when I stopped playing football, he was like, what? Why haven't you got a game this Sunday? And it's like I feel like that's where the support needs to come from as well, like in schools, like with these younger generations.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that obviously it comes from your family, that you get your inspirations from. And I'm looking at male allies in the industry that can help people get through. I'm looking at people like Ian Wright, who's been a trailblazer in the industry for women's football since before it was broadcasted. We only used to get FA Cup on TV. And now we're getting broadcasters like Sky and BBC that are picking up those big WSL games, Subway Cup, etc., Champions League, and they're putting them on TV, which is a representation that we didn't have growing up. You know, it's only come about since the Euros wins, and the investment in football. But my dad used to take me to Charlton Athletic. That's the nearest football club for me. Sorry, they obviously won the playoff. Sorry. And
I don't forget that one.
and I think that you know, I hadn't really seen a lot of black people on TV. So I come from a mixed race background, and I remember my dad would like, "Come on, Grace, get your coat. Like, we're going out." Oh, it used to be, "Oh, look, it's literally waterlogged pitch. Like, it was like League One." And I was freezing, and the motivation used to be the hot chocolate to go. Like, I was like, thank God, half time. Like, a bit similar to you, not DS the vibes, but it was the hot chocolate that was my motivation. And never really had like a lot of interest in football when I first started going. And then slowly but surely, Charlton was getting better, and I was enjoying it more. And it wasn't just hooliganism; it was actually like a community of people coming together. My dad was a massive inspiration in terms of that. I used to go to the matches, and it got to the point where it wasn't my dad saying, "Oh, Grace, come on, let's go to the matches." It was me saying, "Oh, come on, Dad, like, let's go." Like, and that was really good. And one of my first memories at Wembley was it was the Charity Shield, or now they call it the Community Shield. It was Man United versus Chelsea, and it must have been cheap tickets back then because I cannot remember it at all. Like, I can't remember the scoreline, and I actually got interviewed on Match of the Day Kickabout. It was like a TV show they used to do, was a spin-off for kids, and it was the guy from Officially Amazing. I don't know if you guys watched that TV show. This is showing my age. But basically, Ben interviewed me and my brother, and my brother had no interest in football. He's there in his Man United shirt, and he's just standing there like this. And then there's me going, "Oh yeah, I think Jesse Lingard's gonna score the winner. Like, we're gonna go through to the to the final." And it was the year that Manchester United lost in the final. I think it was like 2018 to Chelsea. And I remember being with my dad, and I was going, "Oh my God, we're going to be on TV." I was so excited. And I literally went down the next morning. This is when you could record TV. And I went down, and I was watching. I was like, "Oh my God, it's me." I was so excited that I was there. My brother's still there, like, in the corner. And I think that was like a big moment for me, because my dad, we only really wanted to go like in to meet the guy, the presenter, which we recognised. But instead of doing that, we decided to obviously do the interview, and it was really interesting. And Jesse Lingard was one of my favourite players at the time, because he's mixed race, and because I didn't see a lot of black players on TV. And coming from the mixed race background as well, it's another barrier to face going into the industry. And not only am I female, but I've come from a heritage which is obviously not recognised on TV as much. So people like Alex Scott breaking those barriers is a massive inspiration to me. But my dad was the first person that kind of said to me, "Oh, Grace, like, don't let it get to you. Like, you're not gonna let that stop you from going and applying for jobs." And that's kind of how it started, like, in terms of that. But one of the managers at Charlton Athletic at the time was Chris Powell, and it was the first time they got promoted. It was like Empower. Thanks, Farah. It was. I'm boring her that much. She started to cough. It was Empower. They won their championship, and they got promoted. And it was the first time a black manager had been seen, like, in the papers, like our local newspapers. And obviously, you know how important the local journalism is. That gets picked up by the mainstream press, and it was so nice to see. And Charlton has been notorious for that. Like, they've done a lot of work, and it was a full circle moment. I started doing photography for Charlton Athletic women in the WSL2, who are now unbeaten. So hopefully they'll go up to the WSL1 next season if they keep up the form now. And it was a real full circle moment. It made me quite emotional to, like, be back. And I was like, "Oh my God, I used to sit in that family stand." And then my dad was told off for, like, bad language in the family stand. And it was interesting to see, like, how much the club had grown in terms of that women's cycle. But I do feel like there is the male allies that kind of need to be putting their opinions across to pave the way for women's football to change, because people like Ian Wright advocating their time to support the women's game is the reason why the women's game is growing, because people are going to listen to. I mean, who doesn't like Uncle Ian? You know, like, he's right.
And yeah, exactly. That is a great point. No one doesn't like him.
No.
Yeah. Like, you know,
he's a likable character, and I think that I see a lot of qualities with him and my dad, apart from the fact that my dad likes Man United and Ian likes Arsenal. But, you know, I think it kind of
Ian
just shows.
as well.
I think it just kind of shows, like, the way that men can influence the changes into women's sport, not just football, but the wider sports too. And it's been really interesting to chat to you guys about your experiences and your thoughts on the game. Do you have like any final thoughts? I'm going to ask you 2 questions to finish. So describe your time at UCFB in 1 word.
Okay. Who's going first?
Not me.
Ellie, you go first.
A whirlwind.
Okay.
Was that going to be your word, was it?
Yeah, damn it. I'm gonna say unique.
Unique.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is you gonna do that one?
Nope. What is my word? I'm going to say roller coaster.
Mhm.
Nice. But a great roller coaster. I know that's not more than 1 word, but
Oh, you said about 5.
yeah.
Amazing. And if you could describe your time at UCFB in 1 emoji, what would it be and why?
That is a great question. One emoji. I'm trying to think of
I'm just thinking
the Romeo one. You know what? I was thinking the same one. I don't even know how to describe that emoji. I think it would be the boogie one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because,
Party time.
yeah, because you have a great time, and this is really good delving deep into this emoji meaning. But yeah, like you have a great time, you meet cool people, you have fun, but that can also be the fun of the lectures.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Inspiration.
Yeah. That's gonna be like a screenshot.
Yeah,
of the
I hope
thumbnail.
so.
You know the one with the eyes? It's
Oh yeah.
But, like-
yeah, like that's fun. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like I have had so much fun,
Mm.
and then I've used my mind.
I think through lectures are the fun as well.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. There's obviously lectures that are like, oh, you're sat there
Yeah.
bored and you want to go back to bed because it's 9 a.m. But like, you do have lectures where you're like, oh, this is really
Yeah.
interesting and it is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
that's. I'm hoping what you mean by that emoji.
That's exactly what I mean.
And then what about you?
Probably that emoji that's like shaking. How would you describe that one? That means.
Oh.
Thanks for that. That one. Wow, you really nailed that.
I bet they all know what one I'm talking about.
You're just like excited, you know.
Is that the reason why then? Just excited to learn?
Yeah, excited to learn.
She's our little brain box.
Yeah, she is.
Amazing.
What about you? What's your emoji?
Ooh.
Thank you. So you.
You're putting me in the hot seat now. Ooh, probably like the trophy. I just
like that.
I feel like that,
That's
you know,
way better answer than all of ours.
Here's me pulling funny faces.
This is just football, for God's sake. Anyway.
this is why I'm host, guys. I'd say the trophy because I feel like that we're all winning here at UCFB, varsity, in the hot seat. You know, we all had like our challenges, but it's important to understand that we all will win eventually, no matter what shape or form. Whether it's a small win or a big win, we should celebrate them all.
I like that.
That's the
Yeah.
the kind of vibe I go for. My time at UCFB in 1 word, monumental is what I'm gonna go for. And you never know what's around the corner, so it is a roller coaster indeed.
Thank you.
So yeah, your words were great as well. But yeah, this has been In the Hot Seat. I'm Grace D'Souza, your student union president, and I've been joined by
Phoebe Wilson.
Freya.
Ellie Jarvis.
Thank you.
The University Campus of Football Business offers an inspiring learning experience with unique university degrees focused on your chosen career in the football and sports industry. Come to UCFB and study an undergraduate or postgraduate degree in media and journalism, coaching and analysis, sports business and finance, plus much more at iconic sporting locations such as Wembley Stadium and Manchester. To kick off your career in sport and find out more about our courses, visit ucfb.ac.uk.